Today, Racing to the Breeders' Cup presents the biggest day of thoroughbred action so far this year. We'll see if Cigar is still the best horse in the land. We'll check the progress of last year's Breeders' Cup Turf champion, Tikkanen. And we'll watch the newest sprint sensation, not surprising, in his toughest assignment yet. Plus, inside information on one of America's outstanding fillies. And a sneak preview of the stars of tomorrow, the 2-year-olds, all coming your way on Super Saturday from Belmont Park.
Racing to the Breeders' Cup. Presented by Buick.
Welcome to Racing to the Breeders' Cup, this time from Belmont Park, the site of this year's Breeders' Cup just 6 weeks from today. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Johnson, and welcome to Super Saturday, a sort of dress rehearsal for Breeders' Cup Day because so many of the horses on today's card are using Super Saturday as a warm-up for the big day here on October the 28th. Let's take a look at the race menu as they'll be coming to you in the next 90 minutes. We start with sprinters in the Vosburgh. Then it's watching the 2-year-old fillies in the Matron, 2-year-old colts and geldings in the Futurity, then on to the turf for the Man of War, distaffers in the Ruffian, and the finale of the afternoon, the $500,000 Woodward, and that means Cigar trying for his 10th straight victory. Now, all of the Breeders' Cup races will be affected by what happens here today. Some stock on the rise, others, I guess, will fall, and of course, there'll always be a few new shooters on Breeders' Cup Day. But one thing for sure, Breeders' Cup Day itself will be in sharper focus 90 minutes from now. And we've had a winning streak in the weather department. It's been beautiful the last month here in the New York area, and today a perfect fall day. Temperatures in the high 60s, a bit cloudy, wind out of the southeast. Main track is fast, and the turf course is firm. And joining us now, Charles C. Canty. And Charles C., if there had to be a marquee name above the title Super Saturday, it would have to be Cigar.
Well, he's not only our favorite today, but he's the early favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic, and he's got dead aim on Horse of the Year. He's won all 7 of his races this year, beating everything they've led up to him on both coasts.
And here, as you watch him win the Hollywood Gold Cup, he wins so effortlessly that it begs the question, how fast could he go if pressed?
Well, I don't think we're going to get the answer to that today. He's been freshened for the last 60 days since he came back from California. And while he's tight enough for this afternoon, I'm sure Belmont doesn't want a very hard race on him today.
Well, post time for the Woodward in about an hour and 10 minutes. But the horses are on the track for our first live event, the Vosburgh. Let's check the conditions and take a look at the field. It's a 7/8 of a mile race, grade 1 status for 3-year-olds and up. The Vosburgh, having its 56th running, has a purse of $200,000.
And a field of 13 breaking from the rail is Light the Fuse with Julie Crone. The early morning favorite is California Invader UNI with Jorge Chavez. Another California shipper is Lee de Justice and Corey Nakatani. Stretch running Waldeboro gets Mike Smith. Then Top Account and Jose Santos, Golden Gear and Randy Romero. Itaka has Eddie Maple aboard.
Not surprising, the 8-horse getting some support. Robbie Davis riding, Gold Land, Eddie Delahousie in from California, Golden Tent with Richard Migliori. Our emblem is a son of Personal Ensign, who won the Breeders' Cup Distaff in 1988. Pat Day rides, and a Mutual Field completes this one. 3 Diamonds with Gary Stevens, and Do Money with John Velasquez.
Well, not surprising, is the newest star on the sprint scene. He won both of the stakes at Saratoga, which is not easy to do. And we asked Judd Van Warp, his trainer, if not surprising, was surprising.
No, he really hadn't surprised us that much. I was surprised he didn't get any respect with the races that he was winning, you know. But when he came to Saratoga, he went off the favorite in the A Phenomenon. That was sort of a plus for him. And then when we came back at the second one at Saratoga, it was only 17 days later, and we were sort of wondering, making sure, you know, if everything was okay, and he came back and ran a bang-up race. So I really think he's going to do it again. I mean, he's really on the ball right now.
But he'll have some competition from UNI, trained by Bobby Frankel. UNI set the track record here at Belmont Park for 7 furlongs last year in the Riva Ridge Stakes, and it still stands. Well, the horses are on their way to the starting gate for the Vosburgh, and we're on our way to the Breeders' Cup. Racing to the Breeders' Cup is brought to you by the Breeders' Cup, racing's $10 million championship. By Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember, Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. By Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates. by Beechwood-aged Budweiser. It's always been true, this Bud's for you. And by Wittenauer watches, the perfect blend of hand craftsmanship and advanced technology. Wittenauer, the watchmaker's watch.
When the world's best horses meet in the Breeders' Cup, no matter what the odds, they all have a chance to win. A huge upset looming here as our Kong comes flying on the outside. Here is our Kong to win it in an absolute shocker. He's 99-1. The 7-race Breeders' Cup simulcast is your best chance to win, and win big. The Breeders' Cup. Maybe it's time for your horse to come in.
American families have made their choice. Once again, they've chosen the Buick LeSabre as Family Circle magazine's Family Car of the Year. For reasons like safety, dependability, performance, and style, American families chose LeSabre as Family Car of the Year over every other sedan, foreign or domestic. Buick LeSabre, the American family car.
In prehistoric times, the only place to rent a wheel was the airport. Well, Thrifty Car Rental changed that and conveniently opened in your neighborhood. So now, it's easier than ever before to rent a great set of wheels at historically low rates. And when you are at the airport, don't worry, that's our neighborhood too. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Why? Why? Why?
Welcome back to Super Saturday. And we're just 3 minutes to post for the Vosburgh. You know, even though the Breeders' Cup Sprint is at 6 furlongs, the Vosburgh at 7 furlongs has played a major role as a prep. Now, last year, Cherokee Run finished 3rd here in the Vosburgh prior to his victory in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. And it always seems like the winner of the Vosburgh is more often than not the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, but not necessarily the winner. Well, let's now meet another member of our broadcast team and get his perspective on this sprint. Let's go to Bob Newmeyer.
This is the deepest and most competitive field you'll see today. The Vosburgh, 13 of them sprinting 7 furlongs. A nice mix of speedballs and come-from-behind horses. One that fits the latter profile ships in from California. His name is Lee de Justice, coming off a smashing track record win at Del Mar in 1:20 flat for 7 furlongs. The problem for this gray is not finishing, it's starting. He has gait problems. We asked trainer Janine Sahadi to talk about his gait adventures.
This horse, he just has a mind of his own, and had the 8-hole, and the 7 other horses had loaded. And by the time it was his turn, he basically decided he wasn't ready to go. So after a bit of coaxing, they took the rest of the field out, loaded him, and then reloaded the other 7. He just showed me a tremendous turn of foot and equaled the track record and did it under a hand ride. And one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. I mean, I didn't know that he had it in him. I knew he was a good horse, but I've never seen anything like that, and I'm not sure that I'll ever see anything like that again.
As for Lee de Justice today, they are beginning to load here at Belmont, 13 of them. This will be a somewhat lengthy process. The horse is in the gate without jockey Corey Nakatani. You might be able to see through that gate. He's blindfolded. Obviously, the tactic there to try to get him to settle down, be nice and relaxed for a critical start in the 7 furlong Vosburgh here at Belmont. Dave?
See, how do you think this race is going to set up?
Well, we've got 2 of our major speed horses breaking from post 1 and post 2. That's Light the Fuse and UNI, and the plan has got to be for the 2 of them to go out together. I hope they don't do anything silly, but they'll set an honest pace. But it still looks like it would set up for come-from-behind horses like Lee de Justice, maybe Waldeborough, and not surprising, will lay just off that pace. His best races when he won the Forgo and the Phenomenon, he was just off that pace.
There goes Top Account into the gate, and we'll go to the top of the stands and Tom Durkin for the call.
And the last few horses moving in here.
Gold Land is moving in. Our Emblem, along with Golden Tent. 7-furlong race here at Belmont Park, so they've got a pretty good run into the first turn here. 3-furlong run before they hit the turn. Actually, 2 furlongs before they hit the far turn. Final horse, Our Emblem, will take his position. A son of Personal Ensign, one of the all-time great Breeders' Cup performers. And Our Emblem is the one that is a little difficult today. Our Emblem always has been a bit of a fractious horse. Shug McGahee's done a pretty good job of getting this colt to settle down. Not that you can tell the difference right now. You can see the assistant starters using all the tricks of the trade to get the horse in. And Pat Day fails out. And he, as a lead to Justice was, will be loaded without the jockey aboard. The assistant starters have to be more horse psychologists than strong men. And they're the crew watching on. This time they'll probably try to loop the horse in behind. There you see they grab, and he is very fractious today. Our Emblem has never acted this badly at the starting gate area. Our Emblem acting up. One of the last resorts they would do would be to use a blindfold. Many horses have a fear of the starting gate, and you can't really be afraid of what you can't see. There you see horse body language. See his ears pinned back? That means he is agitated. When horses get in an aggravated, agitated situation, they pin those ears back. That's when you know when your horse isn't happy, and believe me, Our Emblem is not a happy camper today. Among those looking on today is Jack Nicholson. Hi, Jack. Our Emblem certainly not shining, however, this afternoon. He is quite a handful today. The other horses, by the way, are standing in very good order. Our Emblem delaying the start here. Son of Mr. Prospector from Personal Ensign. He has another half-brother that will be running today. My flag. I think you're better off trying to blindfold. Or our flag, I should say. And we'll go back to Dave Johnson as the announcer here. It might get a little case of laryngitis waiting for the start, Dave.
Okay, Tom. Well, the other horses in the gate, we're happy to report, are all in fine order. It looks, Charles, like they're going to put the blindfold on number 11.
They are going to do that. As Tom said, this will be the second blindfold we use today. If that fails, they could take him around to the front of the gate and attempt to back him in, or they might do both. They might blindfold him and back him in. But this is about as extreme a case of reluctance to load as we've seen in quite a while.
Now, all of the horses carry 126 pounds except the lone 3-year-old top account carrying 122. Forgo won this race back in 1974 carrying 131 pounds, and it's named after Walter Vosburgh, one of our great handicappers.
Well, of course, Walter Vosburgh loved to pile weight on horses, and it seems ironical that the Vosburgh, for so many years a great handicap race, is now no longer a handicap but Weight for Age, one of the many flagship races falling to the loss of weight. And there's Jack Nicholson waiting for cigar. Is this an omen? I bet I know who he likes today.
Might be doing the Red Auerbach just a minute and 12 seconds in advance. Randy Romero, who rides Golden Gear, and by the way, Golden Gear is by Breeders' Cup champion Gulch, has won this race twice. He took it in '88 with Mining and '89 with Sewickley. We'll go back up to Tom Durkin and find out what's happening on the backstretch.
Well, you can't walk in the right way, walk in backwards. Our Emblem loaded from the front of the gate. They're all in line. We are now ready for a start. And the crowd reacts, and they're off. Now, Our Emblem got off to a good beginning, but so did Light the Fuse, and You and I will come right after him. And Golden Gear right there running in third. Not surprising, is a close to the pace fourth. Goldland fifth, Dumani sixth in between horses. Then Three Diamonds is seventh toward the inside. Our Emblem is eighth. He's about 10 lengths off the lead. A break of 3 to Intanka running in ninth. Waldeboro is 10th.
Then lead it just east down toward the inside. He's better than 15 lengths from the lead now. Followed by Top Account, and the trailer is Golden Tent as the field moves into the far turn. The opening quarter went to 22 2/5 seconds. And You and I and Light the Fuse take their duel to the midway point on the turn. Light the Fuse holding on to a short lead under intense pressure from You and I. Golden Gear is just there in behind them now. Three Diamonds is coming up the inside. Not Surprising is called on for his best. Dumani is running in sixth. Our Emblem is wide in seventh. Ataka toward the inside, and Goldland, and the field turns for home now. You and I has come away with a short lead. Light the Fuse is weakening. Three Diamonds coming up the inside. Not Surprising is coming hard on the far outside. Golden Gear jostled about in between horses, and Our Emblem is coming late. Ataka in behind horses, down to the final 100 yards. Not Surprising, short lead. You and I absolutely game. Our Emblem coming hard. It's going to be close, and it's going to be Not Surprising and You and I in a photo finish. Robbie Davis raises his hand. He thinks he got it with Not Surprising. Frankly, so do I. And an affectionate pat from Robbie Davis to Not Surprising, who is on a roll. There's the fastest horse in America right now.
Not Surprising, Robbie Davis in a tight photograph, we think, beating You and I on the money with Jorge Chavez. It doesn't get any better than that. Sprints are always contentious here at Belmont, but 13 of them, and it's down to a photo finish. Is it You and I, or is it Not Surprising? We'll be back with the official of that photo finish after this. Stay with us on Super Saturday.
Your Ford dealers have 5 of the 10 best sellers in America. So when they have a clearance, it's a pretty big deal.
Save almost $700 in options on Ford Mustang. Save over $1,000 on Thunderbird.
That's what I call big.
Save over $2,600 on a sleek Ford Probe. Now that's real performance.
The factory authorized clearance. Think big, but do it now. See your tri-state quality Ford dealer and see for yourself.
Hello, dial a window. I want to order a window.
We'll come to your house, measure, custom make, and install one solid vinyl double insulated window, all for $199.
$199?
Is tomorrow okay?
I don't think you heard me. I said I only want one window.
That's okay. I know, only one window, and it's guaranteed for as long as you own your home.
I only get that kind of service when I order big.
That's dial a window service. One window to any number of windows, guaranteed.
That's good. That's good.
Charlie, that negligee from the catalog came in.
Oh, Marge, it looks so soft, so silky. Do you think we could use it to wipe the dust off the TV screen? It's time for ESPN's NFL Prime Monday. I need a clean screen to see Mike Tirico talking X's and O's with Joe Theismann and Sterling Sharp. I want to see Sunday's recap and Monday's pregame. I want to see Prime Monday, and I want to see it clearly.
I'm beginning to see things clearly myself, Charlie.
Welcome back to Racing to the Breeders' Cup presented by Buick. And let's take a look from our shutter cam just a bit off the finish line. And it looks to us, and yes, it's up on the tote board, number 8, Not Surprising, takes the photo finish. Number 2, You and I was second. And Our Emblem, the horse who had given him so much trouble at the starting gate, finished third in that photo. Robbie Davis in the blue and white gets to go to the winner's circle. Robert Van Warp, the owner, Judson Van Warp, the trainer, his son, and Robbie Davis in the irons, carrying 126 pounds. The two in the photo finish, Bobby Frankel, the trainer of You and I, and You and I had set the track record quite a bit slower today, the final time of 1:22.2, but they zipped the quarter in 22.2 and the half in 44.4. Let's find out how this horse did it. We'll go back to Bob Newmeyer.
Well, it's interesting, Dave Johnson, that the horse that was so bulky at the starting gate, Our Emblem, is on the extreme left-hand side of your screen. I mean, he's in the parking lot as they turn for home, just missed winning this race by about a half a head. Not Surprising, in the middle of the track with Robbie Davis under right-handed urging. There you see him, that chestnut with a white face, with the white and blue cap silks. You and I hanging tough after dueling with Light the Fuse from the inside. And look at Our Emblem, dashing on the outside, just going to miss in this photograph. An exciting Vosburgh, 98 times out of 100. When you play a horse and he has trouble at the gate, you might as well rip up your tickets. Not so today with Our Emblem. A fast closing. Maybe he got the second money. We'll have to wait for the photograph, but the winner is Not Surprising. Dave?
And it is official. Let's take a look at the prices for what is the 7th race here at Belmont today. Not surprising, pays $8.50, $4.60, and $3.30. You and I, second in that photograph, $5, $3.50. Our emblem, $4.40. The exacta, 8 and 2, $29.80. The time, 1:22 and 2. It's going to be a real good Breeders' Cup sprint. I bet all three of these are coming back. Hope you'll come back after this.
Life is a horse race to me, and I've always enjoyed the racing business. Getting into it professionally has been a dream of mine forever. Going to the sales are a lot of fun. The races are a lot of fun. I don't think there's anything that matches watching one of your own horses run.
And here comes Rich Man's Gold!
Just like a proud parent, watching your horse run and win is a great experience.
Make your bid for success at Keeneland's September yearling sale.
Since the beginning, you could always depend on your neighborhood for whatever you needed for your family vacation. Even when you needed a car with more trunk space. The fact is, you can still rely on Thrifty Car Rental to deliver historically low rates on a variety of legendary cars. So whether you're traveling in your neighborhood or to someone else's, we're there. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Brings up Ron Gant, who homered his last
Guy
time.
Gant's amazing. Atlanta thinks he's washed up. They throw him out in the street, works his butt off, signs with Cincinnati, and he turns them into winners.
And now he's coming back after Atlanta.
It's almost like a movie.
Yeah.
Who do you think they get to play Gant?
Stallone. What?
When's the last time you had your eyes checked?
So Stallone's a little short. Maybe they could put lips in his shoes or something.
Yeah, and they ought to tighten the bolts in your neck, too.
The 56th winner of the Vosburgh, not surprising, and Judson Van Warp, the trainer, was not surprised by the result. Well, Sunday night baseball could be a preview of the National League Championship. Fred McGriff of the Braves could become only the 9th player in history to hit 30 home runs in 8 straight seasons. And Barry Larkin of the Reds could be this year's MVP. It's the Braves against the Reds tomorrow night on ESPN. Let's check the Wittenauer splits for the Vosburgh. 22.51 for the quarter. The half in just a little under 45. The final time, 122.48. A little bit faster than the 120.33, which was the track record set by you and I, the horse that finished second today, Robbie Davis, for his first win on our program. Well, the voice of the Breeders' Cup, the man who called every one of the Breeders' Cup races over the last 11 years, is also the track announcer here at Belmont Park. Let's say hello to Tom Durkin.
Well, as you saw, the Vosburgh was a one-turn sprint. Nothing unusual about that. But here at Big Belmont, we don't turn very much, especially on the main track. The Futurity and the Matron are both one-turn, one-mile races. And at this big track, even the 1 1/16 Ruffian is a one-turn race. And the Woodward at 1 1/8, yes, one turn. The first 5 furlongs are straight down that colossal backstretch here at Belmont Park. Well, the advantages of this big track, well, fewer turns, less trouble. However, bigger track, smaller horses. You need a big pair of these babies to pick them up on the backstretch.
And talking some more about turns, the Man o' War, our only turf race on this program, is the only race around 2 turns today. And it's on the smallest of the 3 ovals out there.
Right. The distance of the Man o' War is 1 3/8 miles, which makes it a perfect, useful prep for the Breeders' Cup turf, which is 1.5 miles.
So let's take a look at the conditions, and then we'll check the field for the Man o' War. This is a $400,000 Grade 1 event at 1 3/8 miles on the turf. They'll start in front of the stands, and as Tom told us, go around twice. 3-year-olds and up all carry 126 pounds. And let's take a look at field of 12.
Leading off with an entry from the husband and wife team of Madeline and Alan Paulson, flagged down in Yokohama. Long shot Manila Man will show speed with Randy Romero. Next are a pair of reform claimers, Boyce and Potomac View. Then we have the French Invader, Cal Donives, with American expatriate Cash Asmussen. And watch for the White and Cherry Silks, carried by Ruffian, aboard Stewardess Janney's warning glance.
And number 7, Milcombe, has run 16 of his 17 races on the turf. He's had one dirt race. That was in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and he was way up the track. He's back on the grass where he belongs, and Gary Stevens rides. Number 8 is Tikkanen, hero of the Breeders' Cup Turf, that $2 million event last year. And again, Mike Smith is in the iron. Signal Tap, a different horse now that he's racing on the grass with Jose Santos, who's won the Man Award twice. Tuesday's Special, a graded stakes winner in from France with Corey Nakatani to ride. And the mystery horse for me in the field is number 11, King's Theater. He just hasn't run up to expectations since he came over from Europe, where he was really a star. Well, last year it was Tikkanen at 16-1 taking the Breeders' Cup Turf. And he's one of the favorites here today, if not the favorite. Let's get more from Bob Newmeyer.
And names are kind of fun to play around with. Tikkanen was named after Esa Tikkanen, a feisty hockey player in the National League, a well-traveled guy who's been with the Rangers, the Oilers. He now skates for the St. Louis Blues. And the horse Tikkanen is much traveled as well. He's run in Italy, he's run in Germany, he's run in France, and obviously he's run here in the United States. He's had a number of trainers as well. But the man conditioning Tikkanen right now is Christophe Clement. Tikkanen may have done most of his racing overseas, but make no mistake, he prefers it here in America. Last year, his rousing Breeders' Cup Turf victory was preceded by a win in the Turf Classic right here at Belmont, proving his preference for the firmer American courses. This year, after 3 winless tries in Europe, he's back again, this time in the barn of trainer Chris Clement, who plans a slow but steady move towards his Breeders' Cup goal.
I'm very happy with him. He's been training well. He's a very smart horse to be around. He learned very quickly about the American way of training. We worked him a few times. He's probably not yet 100% fit because the Man of War is not the ultimate goal. But we're very happy about the way he's going into that race. I would love him to run well, to probably be, you know, like 6 or 8 or 10 lengths of the pace and finish well. He gets a little bit tired in the last furlong. You know, I mean, you can't be disappointed with the horse. He did not run for almost 3 months. Nevertheless, you know, I'll be disappointed if he doesn't give a good performance.
And I know a lot of you racing fans love gray horses. You're going to just fall in love with Tikkanen. He is a striking 4-year-old. Last year, he won this race. They shipped him back to France and then back to the States for the Breeders' Cup. Not so this year. Tikkanen will remain stable here at Belmont following today's Man of War. Dave?
Well, our great day of thoroughbred racing continues. We'll find out what happened with the 2-year-old fillies in the Matron after we take this brief timeout on Super Saturday.
As sure as the sun will rise across America, the families that travel will have one common need: to be safe. So it's no surprise that America's favorite full-size car has also been honored for safety. That's according to Prevention magazine, which gave LeSabre the Safe Car Achievement Award in the full-size category. Buick LeSabre, the American family car.
Great moments in racing are the results of months of hard work and hope, years of planning and persevering, and generations of successful bloodlines. For nearly 2 decades, Walmack has contributed to some of racing's most exciting moments by introducing promising stallions like Salt Lake, a Grade 1 winner by Deputy Minister, who won more than $500,000 while sprinting against the nation's best. At Walmack, we're working to make every moment count.
Andre
without question, has the best return of serve in the game. He's a tough guy to ace.
Back at Belmont Park, the Matron was run earlier this afternoon. It was a $150,000 purse for this Grade 1 event in the 89th running of this 1 mile event. Let's take a look at the field.
A field of 8 went postward. On the rail was La Rosa. The favorite Golden Attraction made her 5th stakes appearance. She was next in line. Then came Long Shot Echo, Echo, Echo. In post 4 was My Flag, a daughter of distaff champion Personal Ensign.
Second choice was Careless Heiress at 4, Z Lady at 18, Cara Raffaella was at 12, and Come Casual, the long shot in the field at 41. Let's see what happened.
They're off. Z-Lady comes out first. La Rosa came off to an awkward beginning, but it's Z-Lady who will be the early leader, and Golden Attraction runs in second. Cara Raffaella on the outside third. 3 lengths back to slow starting La Rosa, who now runs along in fourth. Then farther back, it's Careless Heiress, who's now 5th in between horses. She's about 9 lengths from the lead. Come Casual to her outside. Then Echo, Echo, Echo in a big break. It's about 8 lengths back to My Flag. The first quarter in a sparkling 22 seconds flat. Z-Lady is zipping right along here with a 3-length lead. And the favorite Golden Attraction is second as they enter the far turn. Her outside, it's Cara Raffaella, now running third. The half in 44 3. Swift fractions indeed. Around the far turn, it's Z-Lady in front. Golden Attraction is chasing this fast pace. Cara Raffaella's third. And Careless Heiress hitting her best stride now, and she's moving up toward the lead. A break of 3 to Come Casual. My Flag getting underway from the back of the pack as they come to the top of the stretch. It's Z-Lady, but a narrow lead. Here's Golden Attraction to take the lead at the top of the stretch. It's Golden Attraction, handwritten to the lead. Cara Raffaella on the outside, and those two will come to mid-stretch together. Careless Heiress is now running in third. Z-Lady has a weakening fourth. Golden Attraction, Cara Raffaella. The 2 Lucas fillies will be 1-2 in the Matron. Golden Attraction with a short lead. Cara Raffaella, here's the line, and Golden Attraction holds on to defeat her stablemate Cara Raffaella by a head. Farther back, My Flag with Careless Heiress.
Golden Attraction, trained by D. Wayne Lucas. Lucas has won the Matron for the 7th time, and he finishes 1-2 today. Golden Attraction, the favorite, pays $290, $250, $210. Cara Raffaella, his other filly, $580 and $220. My Flag, $220. The exacta, $1880. Final time, 136.33.
Well, Wayne Lucas is looking to win his 4th Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and it looks like he has a strong hand. Now Cara Raffaella came from nowhere, a new face on the scene. She, too, was compromised by unruliness at the gate, so Lucas looking good with his fillies.
And Lucas has, of course, finished 1-2-3 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies and 1-2. He could do it again. We'll have to see on October the 28th. We'll be right back with more on Super Saturday.
When the world's best horses meet in the Breeders' Cup, no matter what the odds, they all have a chance to win. A huge upset looming here as our Kong comes flying on the outside. Here is our Kong to win it in an absolute shocker. He's 99 to 1. The 7-race Breeders' Cup simulcast is your best chance to win, and win big. The Breeders' Cup. Maybe it's time for your horse to come in.
They come to Hollywood for the excitement, the nightlife, the action, and a chance to be a winner. Hollywood Park Racetrack and Casino. A lot can happen here.
In prehistoric times, the only place to rent a wheel was the airport. Well, Thrifty Car Rental changed that and conveniently opened in your neighborhood. So now, it's easier than ever before to rent a great set of wheels at historically low rates. And when you are at the airport, don't worry, that's our neighborhood too. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
We'll get you right back to horse racing. First, these college football updates. It's been a very busy afternoon. One of the best games of the day is going on in Gainesville, Florida, between Tennessee and Florida, two top 10 teams. Peyton Manning, this is his second touchdown pass, a 20-yarder to Marcus Nash. They hooked up earlier. Tennessee leading Florida at the Swamp 23-7. No Lou Holtz, no problem right now for Notre Dame. They lead Vandy by 27. Ohio State has the lead on Washington. Another top 20 matchup. UCLA's just turned it over again. Oregon has it, and an 11-point lead. Pitt and Texas tied. That's now a final. Miami of Ohio beating Northwestern after Northwestern botched a punt in the final 2 minutes. Miami kicked a field goal on the last play of the game. Second to last play of the Arkansas-Alabama game. Fourth down for Arkansas at Alabama. J.J. Metters, did he catch it? The officials rule yes. The replay tells another story. But Arkansas goes to Tuscaloosa as you get that second look. Very, very close. Still hard to tell. Tide lose at home by 1. Florida State sets an all-time school record for points. Nebraska wins comfortably. We'll keep you updated. Right now, let's go back to Belmont, New York, and rejoin Dave Johnson.
Thanks, Mike. Well, so far, no big upsets here today at Belmont Park. But across the nation, you can stay up to date on what's happening. Long shots, upsets, favorites in thoroughbred, quarter horse, and harness racing. Tune in to our Racehorse Digest, Wednesday at 3:30 right here on ESPN. Well, in this date in history, September the 16th, 1972, a little colt by the name of Secretariat won the Futurity. Well, that was 72. Let's go to Bob Newmeyer and find out what happened in 95. Bob?
Well, once again, the name is D. Wayne Lucas. He has the leader of the 2-year-old division in Hennessy, and Wayne is waiting for the Champagne here at Belmont in 3 weeks' time to run that fast 2-year-old, but he's well represented today in the Futurity. One of 3 2-year-olds the public was focusing on today. Lucas's horse is Honor and Glory, the favorite with Gary Stevens, a 3-5 maiden win at Saratoga, but a 7-week layoff into today's event. Louis Quatorze, one of Lucas's main rivals, trainer Nick Zito. Jerry Bailey is the rider. And the other 2-year-old the public likes is Maria's Mon. Robbie Davis up at 7-2. 7 of them traveling 1 mile in the Grade 1 Futurity. The call with Tom Durkin.
And they're off. Featherbox gets out first on the outside. Maria's Mon is there. Elamante toward the inside. Here comes Honor and Glory coming on through to get to the lead. Honor and Glory splits horses to take command early. It's a length and a half to Gold Fever running second, and Elamante on the inside third. Maria's Mon just off the lead on the outside fourth. Jamie's First Punch in and among horses fifth. Louis Quatorze was steadied in traffic. Second to last now. Featherbox, who broke alertly, trails the field. Up the backstretch, Honor and Glory ran the opening quarter in 22 4/5 seconds. Gold Fever chasing second. Maria's Mon rating nicely just off the lead on the outside. Elamante comes through an opening on the rail. Then Jamie's First Punch. Louis Quatorze will be forced to go 5 wide round horses. The half went in 45 3. Featherbox trails the field. Moving midway around the far turn. Honor and Glory trying to fend off Maria's Mon, who is a threatening second with 3 furlongs to run. Here's Louis Quatorze putting in his bid on the outside, now running in third. Elamante weakening toward the inside. Featherbox coming wide. In behind horses, Jamie's First Punch and Gold Fever. And they're at the top of the stretch. Maria's Mon has taken the lead. It's Maria's Mon in front. Honor and Glory weakening. Louis Quatorze is right there. Featherbox on the far outside. They're in the final furlong. Maria's Mon coming to the 16th hole with the lead. Louis Quatorze doing his best, but his best is second best today to Maria's Mon. A sharp winner here in the Futurity. A 2.5 length winner over Louis Quatorze. Honor and Glory finished third.
That was the trio the public liked, and they were right on the money. The third choice, Maria's Mon, getting the win at 9:30 to win. Louis Couture's ran second despite early trouble. Will not race again this year. Nick Zito plans to put this 2-year-old on the shelf, prepping for the 3-year-old campaign. As for Honor and Glory, Wayne Lucas told me after the race he was delighted with his horse's performance. He was 7 weeks off a layoff. He will give him one other stakes race in preparation of the Breeders' Cup. So Maria's Mon, the winner of the Futurity. We'll be back, Dave.
Well, that wraps up the 2-year-old picture. Time to turn our attention to grass racing in the 37th running of the Man of War, and it's coming up right after we listen to these important messages.
Muscle Mag International of Long Island is the only store dedicated to meeting the needs of the weekend athlete to the competitive bodybuilder. Come in and see our wide selection of athletic supplements, workout accessories, and the coolest gym and active wear on Long Island. Muscle Mag is also the local retailer of Metrex, the hottest product in the history of bodybuilding. Stop in and see what's new. Muscle Mag is located at 1753 Sunrise Highway in Bayshore, or call us for directions at 666-6800. Mention this ad and receive an additional 5% discount.
This man has a hair loss problem, but was always hesitant to do something about it. He thought the hairline wouldn't look real. Not true. First, we add a new hairline with real hair and fill in behind it with no surgery. Concept 2 is a new development that makes hair replacement totally undetectable. At Hair Replacement Centers, we create a natural hairline that gives today's active man the look and feel of his own hair. For a free 20-page booklet, call the Hair Replacement Centers at 1-800-HAIR-311.
This is my baby. I feed her, nurture her, and I guide her. Believe me. At 130 miles an hour, when she starts to whine, I'm a real mother.
We're back at Belmont Park on Super Saturday in the field for the Man of War, milling around behind the starting gate. We looked at the tote board and saw that Cal Dunev's is at 5-2. We need a Bud long shot, so let's pick number 9, Signal Tap. Now, Cigar, who we'll see later in the Woodward, has found new life on the dirt. Well, Signal Tap has new life in those 4-year-old legs on the turf. He first competed on the grass this May, and since he has done that, well, he's been yet to be off the board in 4 turf starts. Trained by Scotty Schulhofer, and we hope that Jose Santos can put together a 1 3/8 lawn party. Today's Bud long shot, number 9, Signal Tap. Speaking of grass racing, let's take a quick look at the future book odds for the Caesars Breeders' Cup turf. In terms of the future odds, Lamterra is at 3-1. He won the Epsom Derby. Tikkanen, be funny to see what happens here today. He won the last year's Breeders' Cup Turf. He's 7-2. Awad, the Arlington Million, at 8-1. And as you see, they're getting ready for the start of the Man of War. Let's go to Tom Durkin.
And there is a Warning Glance, one of 2 horses that figured to be on or close to the lead. Warning Glance and another front runner here, Manila Man. And both of them are long prices here this afternoon. Waiting for Milcom. Milcom, one of the top horses in Europe last year. And the final one, Yokohama, moving into line. They're in the gate, ready for the start of the Man of War. Real long run into that first turn here. It's over 3 furlongs. This group behaving very nicely. And they're off. And Boyce and Manila Man. And there goes Warning Glance. Warning Glance and Manila Man will vie for the early lead as Boyce backs off to run third. Milcom settles down in fourth. Cal Dunev's is up close to the pace today, about 6 lengths from the lead and saving ground down toward the inside. Alongside him, it's Flag Down, who now runs in 6th position, 3 lengths back to Yokohama. Tikkanen finds a spot inside early, followed closely by Signal Tap. King's Theater on the outside, then Tuesday Special, and a big break. It's about 5 or 6 lengths back to Potomac View, who trails the field in the early going. The fractions will be strong in the early going here. The first quarter was posted in 22 2/5 seconds. Rapid fractions here set by Warning Glance. Manila Man just off and running in second. And then it's Milcom under a hard hold there by Gary Stevens in 3rd position. Boyce in between horses is 4th. Flag down with clear running on the outside in 5th. Milcom, very rank here, now reined in to run in 5th position. But Caldanuvis has settled down nicely. He's drafting in behind horses, rating 6 lengths from the front. It's 2.5 to Yokohama. Tikkanen down inside, now about 10 lengths from the leaders. King's Theater now beginning to edge up a bit on the outside. Tuesday special in between horses and at the back of the pack with Signal Tap and Potomac View. 3/4 and 1, 11 and 4. And Warning Glance continues to grind it out on the lead. He's been chased all the way by Manila Man. Milcom a real handful today for Gary Stevens. And there goes Flag down now, making a move toward the lead on the outside. Is a strong 3rd. Milcom in behind horses running in 4th. King's Theater now has advanced to the pack to be only 3.5 lengths from the lead. Boyce is working harder to stay up close. Caldanuvis still has run, and he's coming through now down toward the inside. Yokohama, Tuesday specialist kicking in. Tikkanen only 6 lengths from the lead, but he's got a lot to do as they come down to the last furlong. Flag down forges to the lead. Milcom powerfully and easily on the outside. Gary Stevens taking a peek for the competition. Very confident on Milcom, but here comes Caldanuvis closing like a shot. They're coming down to the line, and it's Milcom by a measured length. Milcom is the winner. Caldanuvis second, Signal Tap closing fast, and finishing 3rd, Boyce with 4th. Well, Gary Stevens had a handful of horse all the way around the track. I mean, all the way. He had a handful when he came under the wire. So how about this? The horse who was in the Breeders' Cup Classic last year maybe should have tried the turf, because he wins so easily on the grass, taking the 1 3/8 man of war, looking like he could go certainly that 1.5 miles. Milcom, Gary Stevens having another big day as he makes Belmont Park his fall home prior to the Breeders' Cup. Let's take a look at it, Charles. See from the top of the stretch home.
Well, it appeared to be a European favored race here, and so it was through the stretch. Warning Glance had set all the pace, and here you see in the middle of the track is Milcom in those green and gold silks. He just sweeps to the lead. As Tom said, Gary Stevens had all the horse he needed all the way. And look at the late run by Caldanuvis. He had such trouble at Arlington Park, and he had a little bit more trouble getting through today. They finished 1-2. The Europeans are mighty tough on the grass when they come here.
It looks like these two are going to be mighty tough in the Breeders' Cup turf. Milcom unofficially the winner. Caldanuvis finishes 2nd. Photo for show. We'll be back with more from Belmont after this.
Frank's Farm Stallions represent the world's leading sire lines. Like Gold Alert, the multiple stakes-winning son of Mr. Prospector who sired Golden Breed, winner of the coaching club American Oaks, defeating millionaire filly Serena's Song at the classic 1.25 mile distance. Gold Alert has sired 82% winners from starters, including Jet Forest, champion sprinter in Panama, and the sensational 2-year-old stakes-winning filly in Florida. You can do it. Gold Alert at Frank's Farms, Ocala, Florida.
Since the beginning, you could always depend on your neighborhood for whatever you needed for your family vacation. Even when you needed a car with more trunk space. The fact is, you can still rely on Thrifty Car Rental to deliver historically low rates on a variety of legendary cars. So whether you're traveling in your neighborhood or to someone else's, we're there. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
They come to Hollywood for the weather. The nightlife. The excitement. And the chance to be a star. Hollywood Park for exciting thoroughbred racing.
Folks, today's game was a wild one. The Angels catcher must have logged 2 or 3 miles behind the plate, just trying to catch Lee Smith. He was airmailing him all over the map. Hey, Lee, I think you could learn to harness that wild stuff if you just set up that screaming fastball with an occasional curve. There's Lee Smith.
The banker looking up even bigger savings. Fly out, get a toaster. Strike out, get a free blend.
Racing to the Breeders' Cup is being brought to you by Hollywood Park, where great times are a sure bet.
by Whitnauer Watches, the perfect balance of hand craftsmanship and advanced technology. Whitnauer, the watchmaker's watch. And by Keeneland, source of the classic horse.
There's number 7, Milcom. Gary Stevens aboard. Winning the Man o' War. Man o' War rewrote the record book in racing back in 1919 and 1920. Gary Stevens might just rewrite the record book in 1995. What a year he is having. What a day he's having as he brings Milcom, bred in Great Britain, into the winner's circle after the Man o' War. Well, Super Saturday, of course, continuing here at Belmont. And, of course, you can keep up to date on all of the day's scores at 10, 30, and 50 after the hour. Let's go to Tom Durkin for a replay of the Man o' War. Tom?
There you see Milcom, and here we see Milcom. He's the third horse in your picture. And look at the posture of Gary Stevens on this horse. You know you have a lot of horse when the jockey's feet look like they're in a dashboard. There is more than 7 furlongs to run in this race. Look at the posture of the other jockeys. 2 jockeys in front, crouched down with their legs poised in a driving position. Not so for Gary Stevens. He had so much horse all the way around the track. He did very well not to rate the horse into submission. As the field came toward the top of the stretch, Milcom was guided outside horses, and he came with a clear run. And he did finish full of run. Now you see him, well, you don't see him actually dropping out of the picture now. But as they moved toward the top of the stretch, Gary Stevens still had all the horse in the world that he wanted. The only problem was finding a little room to let him go. So confident was Gary Stevens. He never touched the horse at all with the whip. Look at him as they come down the stretch. He's going to look over to see how much horse John Velasquez has on flag down. Takes a look to the right, to the left. Nobody's coming. Calvin Neves was really a non-threatening second, as good a horse as that is. If you think Milcom is good, look ahead to the Breeders' Cup for another horse by the name of Fernando, who defeated Milcom in their last meeting at Deauville. Dave?
You know, Milcom had a 10-race winning streak over in Europe, and now he is looks like he's starting a new one on the grass. Nice payoff here. 1860, 870, and 660. Caldunives 440 and 380, and the Bud Long shot signal tap was up to be third. 770, the exacta 7-5 combo worth $71 even. The final Whitnauer time 2:12 and change. The splits show a half a little over 46, 3/4 in 111.86. As Tom said, they were going fast early, but Milcom circled them all to get home in 2:12.80. Charles C. has a winner.
Gary Stevens isn't even out of breath. He's just ridden a mile in 3/8, and he hasn't taken a deep breath since he's been here. How easy was it?
Unbelievable, Charles. Throughout the race, I had a ton of horse, and whenever you have a horse, he was pretty aggressive early on, and you tend to think that your horse is going to tire himself out a little bit from pulling so much early, but this colt, he really got into a nice rhythm midway down the backside, and I was very confident coming into the stretch, and I was waiting for a challenger, and nobody ever came. I haven't had a horse win as easy as what he did today for a long time.
Well, here you are. You're just sneaking into the picture on the left of the screen in the white cap, green colors. And, Gary, you never even cocked your stick.
No, they told me that this colt has a habit of wanting to pull up when he makes the lead. They said wait as long as you can, and when you think you've waited long enough, wait a little longer. And he just pulled me to the front, and I really didn't have to give him any encouragement at all. He was just doing it all under his own power.
Gary Stevens won the Breeders' Cup Turf Award in the Wings in 1990. You look good this year.
I'm liking my chances right now. If this colt stays healthy and runs like he did today, then it could be a big day.
Well done, Gary. Congratulations, and we'll go back to Dave Johnson.
And our congratulations to Gary Tanaka, we understand is watching via television. Boy, what a great victory by Milcom this afternoon. Gary Stevens in the irons. Well, you know, not just horse history here at Belmont Park. In 1910, the Wright brothers put on an international aerial tournament right here. And in 1918, Belmont Park's infield was the New York terminal for the first airmail service between New York and our nation's capital. Special delivery coverage of the Ruffian coming up right after this brief timeout. Super Saturday continues.
A thoroughbred farm is like any other sports franchise.
Wild again, slow and go.
You've got the proven veterans.
But it's still Seattle Slew.
And you've got the promising rookies.
Fly So Free, who has...
Even when you've got the talent, there's always building that team. That never stops. Our biggest fans are our clients, and we've got to perform for them every day. And that's why I can say to every client of this farm, at Three Chimneys, the focus is your success.
Life is a horse race to me, and I've always enjoyed the racing business. Getting into it professionally has been a dream of mine forever. Going to the sales are a lot of fun. The races are a lot of fun. I don't think there's anything that matches watching one of your own horses run.
And here comes Rich Man's Gold!
Just like a proud parent, watching your horse run and win is a great experience.
Make your bid for success at Keeneland's September yearling sale.
If you want to play at the track, you've got to get Playing to Win, the all-new, fun-to-watch, easy-to-understand handicapping video from America's Turf Authority Daily Racing Form. Host Bob Newmeyer takes you inside the track, talks to key players, and shows you how the pros pick their winners. Past performances, speed figures, workout patterns, and breeding angles are just a few of the helpful handicapping tips that can really pay off. Playing to Win will take you to the front. Call 1-800-575-5965 today to order your very own copy.
Andre, without question, has the best return serve in the game. He's a tough guy to ace.
Welcome back to Racing to the Breeders' Cup, presented by Buick. Gary Stevens is racing to the Breeders' Cup. He's already won 3 Breeders' Cup races in his career, and one of them was on the turf, and it looks like he has another real good mount for this year's turf encounter. Well, in 1996, ESPN and ESPN2 will present an unprecedented 15 hours of live Kentucky Derby week coverage, and we'll get started on Wednesday, May 1st, with the Kentucky Derby draw to set up the Run for the Roses. Then we'll continue with shows from the backstretch and coverage of the Kentucky Oaks, and we'll visit some of the pre-race parties and check out the stars. Then on Derby Day itself, 4.5 hours of Derby Day action, plus a wrap-up following the Derby itself. A tremendous week of horse racing for fans in the offing here on ESPN and the ESPN2. And there's Gary Stevens. Well, the Ruffian is up next. Let's go to Bob Newmeyer.
What's a day at the races without a tip, a whisper from a jockey's agent, or a fan, or a tout, or a trainer? They like to call it inside information. Well, we have another kind of inside information for you today in the Ruffian Handicap, and there's nothing quiet about this filly. No, she makes a lot of noise anytime she's on the racetrack. She's the prohibitive favorite, and her name is inside information. This is a championship 4-year-old filly with a marvelous record, and today she met 5 modest rivals at 1 1/16 here in the Ruffian Handicap. For the race, it was held earlier today at Belmont Park. Tom Durkin.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Inside information came off to an uneventful start. In between horses, Unlawful Behavior is there, and on the outside it's Cinnamon Sugar. Out of the chute and onto the main track, Unlawful Behavior takes a narrow lead from heavily favored Inside Information, who's right there with her. 1.5 lengths, and on the outside, Cinnamon Sugar runs in 3rd. Forcing Bid is rating off the pace in 4th, along with Incinerate. Jade Flush trails the field. The opening quarter went in 23-1. Continuing up the backstretch, it's Unlawful Behavior in front. A short lead, Inside Information, in no hurry to go by her. Mike Smith rating the filly kindly. 3 lengths back to Forcing Bid, followed by Incinerate, and on the outside, Cinnamon Sugar. Jade Flush continues to trail the field. The half went in 46 seconds flat. And as they round the far turn, Inside Information takes the lead at will and opens up now by 2 lengths, doing it easily. Unlawful Behavior is driving, but nonetheless is losing ground. 2.5 lengths back to Forcing Bid, who's 3rd toward the inside. Incinerate, followed by Cinnamon Sugar, and Jade Flush continues to trail the field. Inside Information gliding away from them, opening up 5-5. She ran 3/4 in 109 and 2, and continues to pull away with total domination. Inside information. Mike Smith just took a peek back. The competition's nowhere. Unlawful behavior, though, still holding for second. On the outside, Jade Flush putting in a belated bid, and Cinnamon Sugar. But it will be inside information. She never broke a sweat today. She cruises under the line to win by 10. Close for second, unlawful behavior, and Incinerate.
She won 6 out of 7 last year, now 5 out of 6 this year. Inside information wins in a common gallop, a virtual public workout. Now, Shug McGahee also has another wonderful filly named Heavenly Prize. This could be a crackerjack coupling in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, although McGahee told me earlier today there is a slight, ever so tiny chance he may enter Heavenly Prize in the Breeders' Cup Classic. That depends on what happens with Cigar a little bit later on today. One way or the other, there's another filly that they're going to have to deal with in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. You might know her name, Serena's Song. Let's go to Charles C. Canty.
Well, with me now is Kenny No of the New York Racing Association. There have been some changes since we last visited with Kenny, including your title. You're now chairman and president of NYRA.
Well, I'm not really sure what that means, but when I came under one title, and I'm not really that much interested in titles, but when I came as president, I said I'd come and try to be of assistance, and so the other title doesn't mean much more. I'll still try to be of assistance.
Well, you've had your hands full here. We're really on the countdown to the Breeders' Cup here at Belmont Park. This has been a good dress rehearsal for you all today.
Oh, without a doubt. But when you have, Charles, you know, when you have professionals like they have at the Breeders' Cup and the people that have been through it here before in 1990, you know, you know it's going to go very well.
Well, it's been a good afternoon today, and certainly everyone looking forward to Breeders' Cup on October 28th right here at Belmont Park. Kenny No, thank you, and we'll go back over to Dave.
And we're going to watch the finish of the Ruffian with inside information, and we're going to watch Jack Nicholson watching the finish. Winner or a loser, Jack?
Let me guess. One side of you craves easy chair comfort, while the other side itches for performance, right? Well, meet Buick Regal with its famous 3800 V6 engine and Grand Touring suspension. Add to that an all-new interior with body-sensitive seats. And finally, there's a car for the two of you. Buick Regal.
Lanes End Farm, the industry leader. At the sales, Lanes End is a leading consignor. And on the racetrack, runners sold by Lanes End have won or placed in more than 175 graded stakes. And as a breeder, Lanes End is credited with more than 130 stakes winners. Join the industry leader. Come race with us, breed with us, and consign with us. Lanes End Farm, Versailles, Kentucky.
In prehistoric times, the only place to rent a wheel was the airport. Well, Thrifty Car Rental changed that and conveniently opened in your neighborhood. So now, it's easier than ever before to rent a great set of wheels at historically low rates. And when you are at the airport, don't worry, that's our neighborhood too. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
When the world's best horses meet in the Breeders' Cup, no matter what the odds, they all have a chance to win. A huge upset looming here as our Kong comes flying on the outside. Here is our Kong to win it in an absolute shocker. He's 99-1. The 7-race Breeders' Cup simulcast is your best chance to win, and win big. The Breeders' Cup. Maybe it's time for your horse to come in.
Get you right back to Belmont. We're keeping an eye on what's going on in college football today. Let's get you updated. 8 of the top 10 are playing or have played. Half of them have scored over 50, and Tennessee's on the way to make it 6 of the 8. The quarterback for Florida, Danny Werfel, was going to pass, but Sean White hit him. Raymond Austin picked it up, a 46-yard score. Tennessee leads Florida in the swamp. That lead is now a 16-point lead. Florida's trying to put up a late score. Oregon shocking UCLA up by 11. They've just gone to the half, and Ohio State leads by 16. Earlier today on ESPN2, Northwestern blew a 21-0 lead. They had a punt blocked, and this disastrous punt snap in the final seconds put Miami of Ohio in position to kick a game-winning field goal on the final play of the game. First time Miami's beat a ranked opponent since '86. Arkansas won in Tuscaloosa. Texas leads by 4 in Austin at the half. Right now, let's go back to Belmont and Dave Johnson.
Super Saturday continues live from Belmont Park, and the big one is still to come, the $500,000 Woodward, which means cigar. But right now, let's talk about tonight. Don't miss our college football doubleheader right here on ESPN. 11th ranked Michigan is off to their best start in 9 years. The Wolverines play Boston College at 6:30. Then the powers of the WAC renew their rivalry. BYU hosts San Diego State. Both games tonight, ESPN. Well, the Woodward used to be 1.25 miles. Now it's 1.1 miles. The perfect setup for the Breeders' Cup Classic just 6 weeks from today.
Well, it is, and we have a field of 6 going postward. We'll take a look at them now.
It's a purse of $500,000, a Grade 1 event, 3-year-olds and up, and a field of 6.
There's the field of 6 from the rail. We have a $100,000 claim off trainer Belmont, Golden Larch. Then we have a pair of 3-year-olds fresh from their races in the Travers, Malthus and Star Standard. Then the giant killer, Alan Jerkin, saddled Patsy's Prospect for his appearance out here this afternoon. And here he is, Cigar at 2-5, the big heavy favorite. And then we have Schosberg rounding out the field, a horse who's given some chance of being able to maybe upset Cigar if he isn't exactly himself today.
Well, interestingly enough, Cigar, even though this is home, has never raced at Belmont Park on the dirt.
Well, he may not have raced here, but he's raced everywhere else, and he's won them all. He is truly the hottest horse in the country. Cigar has been the hottest horse in training this year, ever since he picked up the mantle from Holy Bull in the Don Handicap last February. Since then, he has taken on all comers in all parts of the country while extending his winning streak to 9 in a row. His itinerary included a trip to California for the Hollywood Gold Cup, a race that trainer Bill Mott is particularly proud of.
Well, I think, you know, by taking the trip to California, I mean, I think we put him in a tough situation, and he still got the job done out there. And, you know, we traveled the day before the race, you know, going in somebody else's territory, and yet he still was at his best.
But that was 10 weeks ago. Can Cigar continue to scorch the opposition despite his recent inactivity?
Well, it's probably easier to keep a good horse at the top of his game than it is to keep a bad horse at the top of their game. But he remained in training, light training. He's been breezing for the last 6 weeks. I mean, he's been on a regular schedule of breezes. And I don't question the horse at all. Maybe, you know, you question your own decisions and if you've done everything properly and done enough with him. But I feel pretty good about him at this point, that we've got enough training in him.
Which means that there is a good chance this Cigar is still smoking.
Cigar got a big round of applause when he came on the track here for the post parade. But let's go to Bob Newmeyer, who's going to try and beat him with a friend of his.
Well, Dave, if it's a case of close but no Cigar today, the man who could pull off this upset is Phil England. He comes from Canada. He'll saddle Schosberg. Can you beat this horse today, Phil?
Well, we got a good horse. We just want to find out how good he is.
He had a terrific early campaign, and then an injury put him on the shelf for how long? Tell me that story.
Oh, it's a long story. There was a lot of problems, small problems, but we had to give him all that time. And everything came right this year, went forward, and he's in great shape, and he's on a run. He's on a winning streak, and we think it's the right time.
That graphic tells it all. And there's the horse Schosberg as he walks up to the post. A couple of big races off the layoff, including a bang-up win, Phil, at Monmouth in the Island. Tell us about this race as we take a look.
The Island, everything went smoothly for him, and he did everything expected of him. He ran a great race. He caught that ain't a bad horse in front, and, you know, he ran him down. And he didn't have to be punished to do it. Look at Dave. He's just hand riding him. You give him a crack to make him switch leads. So, you know, we hope he's got a little more left and that he'll be serious competition for Seagar.
Dave, of course, is Dave Penna, who's the rider who's in on Schlossberg today. Of course, Phil, the pride of Canada. And a lot of folks up north are looking forward to the Breeders' Cup next year from Phil England's home track up at Woodbine, one of the real class facilities of racing anywhere in the world. Dave Johnson.
It's a daunting assignment, though, because the folks here have Cigar at 1-9. We'll be back with the Woodward. It's 42nd running with a purse of $500,000 after this.
It's the Planet.
The Planet's got it. The Planet can fix it.
It's the way of the future.
It's the only planet.
The bicycle planet. Jericho Turnpike, so I'll say.
How do you grade a college?
The hybrid electric vehicle designed and built by NYIT's engineering students won first place in the Clean Air Road Rally held in Los Angeles.
How do you grade a college? By over 40,000 successful graduates.
New York Institute of Technology, the college where great careers begin. Call 800-345-NYIT. 800-345-NYIT.
It's not too late to register for fall. Call or drop in today.
Beach in Mexico, you see, and I'm sitting in the shade, and there's a kid looking at me. So my daughter's there, my grandson, and my wife's down, who's a big broad. I mean, a big lady. She's down on sunning herself on the beach, and this kid's looking at me, and he comes up to me, and he says, "Excuse me, are you Frank Gifford?" Oh, what the hell is this kid, blind? And my daughter says, "Yeah, there's Kathy Lee down on the beach." My wife plays 3 times as much as Kathy Lee.
That's Cigar here at Belmont Park, who's going to try and win his 10th straight race. The last time he lost was in October of 1994. Well, back in 1988, the Woodward was run at 1.25 miles, and the winner was Ali Sheba, setting a new stakes record. After another victory in the Meadowlands Cup, he was off to Churchill Downs and one of the most memorable Breeders' Cup Classics ever. In the twilight of a cold and damp Kentucky afternoon, Ali Sheba launched his bid for racing's richest event and for a spot at the head of the class.
As the field comes to the top of the stretch, it is Cutlass Reale and Walk Point. Ali Sheba set down for the drive. First the flag is moving through an opening toward the rail, seeking the goal on the outside. They're coming to the final furlong. Walk Point is tenacious. Ali Sheba is right there, and on the outside, seeking the gold. Ali Sheba with the short lead. He's unyielding, seeking the gold. A final move as they come to the wire. And Ali Sheba, America's horse, has done it.
That dramatic triumph made Dorothy and Pam Scarborough's Ali Sheba racing's all-time earnings leader at over $6.6 million. The victory was orchestrated by current and future Hall of Fame members, trainer Jack Van Berg and jockey Chris McCarron, and left Ali Sheba's many fans wishing for even greater accomplishments.
And certainly Cigar will hope to emulate Ali Sheba to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. He's also chasing him in the money one department. Certainly he's got a big chance of doing that with his talent on the dirt. Look at what's happened since he switched from turf to dirt. On the turf, he'd won 1 of 11 and only $82,000 on the dirt. He's won 10 of 11 and well over $2.5 million. What a difference.
Now, if you're wondering about his name, well, it's an aviation checkpoint between New Orleans and Miami in the Gulf of Mexico. Of course, his owner, Alan Paulson, pilot, record-setting pilot, and that's where the name comes from. Who else is going to have to run against him? Well, a nice 3-year-old who finished 4th in the Preakness and 2nd in the Belmont, and then had 2 plunkers up at Saratoga, the early speed specialist Star Standard.
Nick Zito has had a time trying to get him straight. He's got a lot of problems with this horse, particularly in his last 2 starts, and he's having Nick to tear his hair out. So we asked Nick what he's been doing. What happened?
Well, the first thing is he's basically at home. He trains on this racetrack. He loves it. He did finish second in the Belmont. He broke his maiden on this track. When he broke his maiden, it was a straightaway. It was a mile and 16th. They come down to shoot. It's a mile and 1/8. They'll come down to shoot. He's had some time to think about everything. You know, he's over Saratoga, and sometimes, you know, it's your product of your environment. You know, maybe he just didn't like it up there. I don't know why. I mean, he trained great, but he didn't run well. So we're going to give it another whirl and see what happens.
And Pat Day, who won this race with Easy Goer as a 3-year-old back in '89, is aboard Star Standard. We'll go to Tom Durkin for the call of the Woodward.
How much do people like Cigar today? Well, in horse racing, you put your money where your opinion is. Over $1.7 million bet to show on Cigar. Waiting for Cigar in Schosberg. It's a lot of confidence for a horse that hasn't run in 60 days and, in fact, has never run on the Belmont main track. He's in the starting gate, leaving from post 5. Star Standard figures to be the early pacemaker. They're in the gate. Cigar sometimes gets keyed up in his race. Keep an eye out for that, as Jerry Bailey will try to settle him down early and move on the turn. And they're off. Schosberg gets out quickly, but there goes Star Standard, and Pat Day is intent on the lead. Pat Day sends Star Standard immediately to the front. And he's got a 2-length lead as they leave the chute. On the outside, Schosberg will run along in second, and Cigar is just off the lead, running in 3rd position. At the back of the pack are the trio of trailers, Golden Larch, Malthus, and Patsy Prospect. Star Standard moving at his own pace here, leads by 2. Through a quarter, a solid one it was. 23 seconds left. He's now in front by 3 over Schosberg, running in second. And Cigar is settled down neatly now, about 5 lengths from the lead, with 5.5 furlongs to go. Golden Larch rating in 4th position. Patsy Prospect and Malthus well in hand. 5 furlongs from the line. Star Standard, the controlling speed here. Star Standard ran a half mile in a demanding 45 and 4/5 seconds. Schosberg draws in closer. Cigar still unhurried while close to the pace. 2.5 lengths back to Malthus, Golden Larch, and Patsy Prospect. Around the far turn, Star Standard with a 2-pronged challenge. Schosberg to his inside, and there goes Cigar. And he makes his move now as they near the top of the stretch, and he has taken the lead readily. It's Cigar in front now by a half length. Star Standard trying to battle back. Schosberg is there, in with a chance at the rail. Off the turn, into the stretch, and Cigar begins the roll, and he's opening up with authority, leaving Star Standard behind, and a weakening Schosberg. Jerry Bailey takes back. Cigar, no competition today. He toyed with them this afternoon, and he glides gracefully under the line with plenty left. Cigar dominating by 3 lengths. Star Standard was second. It's a photo for 3rd. Jack Nicholson with the appropriate cigar. And Cigar is the word today. He wins here in 147 flat. Never drew a deep breath. What a performance.
And he made his move without any urging at all by the whip. Jerry Bailey just steered him to the middle of the track, and Cigar just blew home. What a performance at 1-9 in 1 minute and 7 seconds. Well, we'll be back with more from Belmont Park, and stay with us. Survival of the Fittest follows us with Mike Adams.
the beginning, you could always depend on your neighborhood for whatever you needed for your family vacation. Even when you needed a car with more trunk space. The fact is, you can still rely on Thrifty Car Rental to deliver historically low rates on a variety of legendary cars. So whether you're traveling in your neighborhood or to someone else's, we're there. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
And that brings up Ron Gant, who homered his last time.
This guy Gant's amazing. Atlanta thinks he's washed up. They throw him out in the street, works his butt off, signs with Cincinnati, and he turns them into winners.
Now he's coming back after Atlanta.
It's almost like a movie.
Yeah.
Who do you think they get to play Gant?
Stallone. What?
When's the last time you had your eyes checked?
So Stallone's a little short. Maybe they can put lips in his shoes or something.
Yeah, and they ought to tighten the bolts in your neck, too.
Back at Belmont Park, where Cigar has just turned in one of the monumental thoroughbred performances. Anybody that saw this today will remember it as long as you go to a racetrack. Jerry Bailey, who's won 3 of the last 4 $3 million Breeders' Cup Classics, looks like he has a lock on this year, because Cigar was simply sensational this afternoon. After winning in Florida and Arkansas and Maryland and Massachusetts and California, he has come home to his home track of Belmont Park and put on an exhibition of horse racing that just takes your breath away. Let's take a look at it with Tom Dirk.
We'll pick up the field as they move into the far turn. Star Standard, and Star Standard was moving right along. Jerry Bailey, it looks like Cigar is just moving very easily. In fact, he is, but they're going fast. They ran a mile here in 1:33 and 4, and Cigar was in very close attendance to it. Jerry Bailey, just the slightest nudge to Cigar, and it's like pushing a button. There you see Pat Day, you know, going to the whip on Star Standard, who's a classically placed horse. And here's Cigar just rolling right on by with absolutely alarming ease. The final time here was 1 minute 47 seconds flat. Now, as far as the future in Cigar is concerned, the fact that this race was so easy on him might mean that he will have to run one more time before the Breeders' Cup Classic in the Jockey Club Gold Cup at 1.25 miles. That remains to be seen. There you see, as easy as a horse can win, it was like a $500,000 workout. Dave?
And speaking of millions, those bridge jumpers who bet this horse to show never had an anxious moment. As Alan Paulson, who's had Breeders' Cup winners opening verse, and Eliza now brings Cigar to the winner's circle, to the applause of the big crowd here at Belmont. And we'll be back with more on Super Saturday. Stay with us.
Brookside Farms' Jade Hunter has become an internationally recognized sire. His sons and daughters have won stakes races in Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and Canada. In the USA, Jade Hunter is the second leading fourth crop sire with over a dozen stakes winners, 76% winners from starters, and total progeny earnings already approaching $5 million. Jade Hunter, the international sire at Brookside Farms for Sales, Kentucky.
5 minutes north of Los Angeles International Airport. 5 minutes west of Los Angeles International Airport. 5 minutes south of Los Angeles International Airport. 5 minutes east of Los Angeles International Airport. Hollywood Park, just minutes from LAX.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself.
Ahead on SportsCenter, the Seminoles run up the score against the Wolfpack. The Irish look to win one for Lou, and the Phils dive into the wild card race. Steve Levy, Jack Edwards. We'll see you for SportsCenter at 6 Eastern.
That's the payoff of a real favorite here at Belmont Park, as the Woodward is official in our Racing to the Breeders' Cup Series. And Cigar pays 220, 210, and 210. Star Standard 330, 210. Golden Larch 210. And that's because there must have been a huge minus show pool. Exacta $12.80. Let's take a look at the Wittenauer splits. And it was so effortless for Cigar to come from off the pace. The mile in 133.94 and the final time of 147.07. Charlesy?
Well, with me now is not only Jerry Bailey, but Justin Bailey, and behind me, Susie Bailey. And Jerry, I'll tell you, I think Justin could have ridden Cigar today. That was the easiest victory I've seen in a long time.
He definitely could have come along with me. I know that.
Wouldn't have slowed him up. Jerry, you just had everything just perfect. Cigar sat in there. He rated perfectly. He'd been away for a while, but he was plenty sharp. And he did everything he was supposed to do.
You know, the only fear might be he was over anxious, but he was actually the reverse. He was very, very settled, probably more so than he ever has been. And it was pretty devastating. He was well within himself right here.
For Star Standard and Pate, it kind of set the pace and chased along, and then right about this point, you just took over, and there was no more contest from here on. Again, another underworked rider. You never cocked your stick.
I'll take it, though, if I can get it.
Jerry Bailey, who has, quote, only won the Classic, only on Breeders' Cup Day. It looks like you're heading for maybe a 4th Breeders' Cup Classic.
I'll take it if I can get it, Charlie.
Well, you're looking mighty good right now, and the rest of the team is with Bob Newmeyer.
Okay, Charles C. Belmont, the trainer, Alan Paulson, the owner, and the question that I'm interested in, trainer Belmont, is what percentage of maximum efficiency did you have this horse cranked up for this race off a layoff? Give me a figure.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would hope to say that we had him at least 90%, but he was good enough to get the job done, and he's probably one of those horses that can overcome a lot of the mistakes that the trainer makes, and he's just he's a great horse, and he showed it once again today. That's 10 in a row, and we've got a lot more work to do. We got a couple more before the end of the year, but right now I feel pretty good about him, and hope we can keep going.
All right, Alan, you've got a couple of options here, and assuming that he's okay physically. The Jockey Club Gold Cup is around the corner here at Belmont. What do you think? Do you run him back in the Gold Cup, or do you wait now for the Breeders' Cup Classic?
Well, I'm all for it if Bill is. Talking to Bailey there, he said the horse, he only figured he took 80% out of him, so he must have something left in the tank. But that's up to Bill, and we'll see how he comes out of the race here, I'm sure. And
so if it's up to you, let's go for the Gold Cup, and let's go for the Classic and take the whole thing down, huh?
Why not? The horse has got to be in top shape, and Bill's the one who makes that decision.
All right, this is double-digit win in a row. And you start talking about now Spectacular Bid and Tom Fool and other great horses. Bill, congratulations, Alan. See you down the road. What a wonderful horse, Cigar, and a great performance. And let's go back to Dave Johnson.
Well, even with this devastating performance by Cigar this afternoon, there's other horses around the country getting ready for the Breeders' Cup. And our next stop on Racing to the Breeders' Cup will be the Super Derby at Louisiana Downs in Shreveport, Louisiana on September the 23rd. Tune in at 4:30 p.m. Eastern and find out, well, what happens in this last big encounter for 3-year-olds in the Super Derby and whether that will produce a horse to challenge Cigar. Right after racing, stay with ESPN for Survival of the Fittest from beautiful Riggins, Idaho. We're going to watch just to see men's and women's river jousting. Survival of the Fittest with Mike Adamle is next right here on ESPN. What an afternoon it has been. It's been mostly favorites. Golden Attraction taking the Matron as Lucas finishes 1-2 in that 2-year-old race. Maria's Mon, brilliant winner of the Futurity. In the Ruffian, it was Inside Information, maybe opening the way for Heavenly Prize to challenge the boys. Not surprising, in a driving photo finish, wins the Vosburgh with Robbie Davis. Milcombe in the Man of War with Gary Stevens. And finally, we all got to see Cigar with Jerry Bailey aboard on to victory in the Woodward.
Racing to the Breeders' Cup.